All right, so now we're gonna dig into the foundation. I got two different shades of the foundation just because I wasn't sure. One is a neutral 30 and the other one is neutral 40. So here's 30, here's 40. All right, I'm gonna scrape some out on to the back of my hand. The 30 might be a wee bit light for me. I'm not really sure. So the nice thing is I'll start with the lighter color. If that doesn't work, then I can mix in a bit of the 40 and mix them together to come up with my own custom shade. But that little bit, look at how much that's spreading. I mean, that's freaking awesome. I'm gonna take this brush here. This is more of a dense kabuki style brush. This is from Delium Tools. I fell in love with the pink. I have two sets of the blues. I was introduced to this brand of brush during my makeup training, and I just love them because for those of you that like are not sure what brush to use for what, they're all labeled. I love it when a brand labels their brushes, not with just a number, but with what the brush is for. Once you get more comfortable, you can be more experimental and use the brushes any way you see fit. That'll work with your face. So normally, the way I would color swatch is really down this area, right? Because this area gets no sun, and I want to make sure that when I'm applying color, that I'm blended, that I don't look like I'm a floating head. So I want to use something that's going to blend really nicely. And in looking at this light, I don't know if it's because it's so bright in here, but I'm thinking for this time of year, this M30, neutral 30, is gonna work really well for my skin tone. It's not showing up real yellow, which is an issue I sometimes have because my skin is, I would say I'm more neutral. I've got a little bit of redness in my skin, I got a little bit of yellow in my skin, but sometimes the neutral tones from brands can look a little too yellow on me. And there's ways to get around that, but I think this is actually the perfect combination for me. I was gonna can't find it right now, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But normally, on any other day, what I would have done is I would have taken my green corrector just around here, where I've got some broken capillaries just from, pro-aging. It's inevitable. But I forgot to bring it with me today because I'm not 100% prepared, but that's okay. And I'm just gonna tap this in. Hold on one second. Okay. So I'm just gonna take what's on the back of my hand, which putting it on the back of my hand kind of warmed it up a little bit. Now the cool thing about this foundation is that it's a high performance formula, right? Which means that it's buildable, right? It's got buildable coverage. It's more of a natural skin-like coverage, and I can already see that. It's like it's not settling in any of my fine lines that I have like right in through here, and I have some in the nasal labial fold. It's just kind of like blending in really, really nice. And I am gonna take it up to the ear so that I don't have two different colors going on here. I like to do more of this tapping motion just because of texture on my skin that you may or may not be able to see. And I am going to bring it down. Wow, this little bit went a long way. The other thing that I like about this particular foundation, because I did my homework, I did my research, is that it contains ceramide 2 and hyaluronic acid. And what that ceramide 2 does is it basically moisturizes and attracts the water. Between that and the hyaluronic acid, it brings that moisture and suppleness to your skin. So you're not gonna look greasy. You're not gonna look like overly dewy. You're basically just gonna have this radiant finish, which I can see that already. I mean, I've got a little bit of hyperpigmentation going on over here. And this is the side that, faces the car window when I'm driving. So I have had a spot here lasered a couple of times, and I do wear sunscreen on a daily basis. But the thing is like, you know, even if you have tinted windows in your car, that sun is still coming through. It's still gonna get you in the side of the face. It's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be so much darker. And then I also have freckles, which you probably can't see, but I have, especially if I go out in the sun, you'll definitely see them. But I have them here along my forehead. I do have them in through here. Oops, I didn't blend that very good right there. But then you can really see them like on my neck and my chest and my arms. My daughter's got them too. One of them loves her freckles and the other one hates them. Go figure. So, I'm just going to continue to blend this in. Now, one thing I will tell you, because this is a cream foundation and it's blending in nicely, I am still going to powder this because it's a cream. And I know you're going to say, wait a minute, but your skin should never powder. It really depends on the powder, on the foundation you're using, whatever products that you're putting on your face. But quite frankly, I feel like there's a lot of instances where you're just not going to be able to get away from the powder. It's just how much you're putting it on and how you're applying it and the consistency of the powder, right? You don't want anything that's, you know, too heavy. You really want to keep with that finely milled powder. And there's lots of good brands out there. I've also been trying some what they call it, the lavender powder. I've been trying that in the pressed and in the loose. And I really like that for brightening. And also, if you get a foundation that might be just a tad bit too yellow and you use a lavender powder on top of that, that's going to neutralize that yellow because they're opposite each other on the color wheel. Okay, so that is well blended. Now the reason why I went down my neck and a little bit back here is if I decide to pull my hair up in a ponytail, again, I want to make sure that I have consistent color, that you're not seeing, you know, one shade here and then I'm like, you know, pale alabaster white back here. I just want to keep it pretty even. So I am loving this. I'm also debating at this point if I even put on concealer because honestly, the way this worked in, I don't know that I really need it. I have a new concealer brush I want to try too. I don't have it unboxed yet, but there's a new one I got from Nicole Beauty. I don't know if you've ever watched Nicole Johnson. I love her. She focuses on, you know, us mature gals, our Gen X baby boomers. And she has this, just the shape of the concealer brush. I'm like, that's like perfect. It's going to fit perfect right in this area. Now I'm just kind of tapping because I had gotten a little bit of that brown liner. So what I'm going to do, here is their finishing or setting powder. This is in a cardboard container, which, you know, is a departure from what you would typically see with brands. But again, it's because of their commitment to the environment. So they do tell you that when you open this, your best bet is to twist and lift. And then you can see it's got some really good perforations in here for getting the product out. So I'm actually just going to put a little bit of this in the lid. Okay, I got this big fluffy brush from Decipher. Decipher is one of those brands where you can customize your foundation shade based on your skin tone. So I'm just going to set this because I don't want this to move. And as you can see, it's really light, so it's not getting caught in any of my fine lines. It's just setting that cream foundation.